Back and forth here today from red to green, currently up 2.5 points at 55-56. Financial planning at every level. It's Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sonny Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
I've been playing sports all my life. Little football, basketball, pickleball, cross training, mud events, Spartan races and things like that.
For Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor, staying active means everything. So when nagging knee pain slowed him down, he didn't want drugs or invasive surgery. He found a natural way to get lasting relief. QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies.
We're using my body's natural abilities to get better. And that's huge. In time, that's going to be the way of the future. Using your own body's ability to heal. Now I can play day to day and not have that severe pain.
Now he's back out there doing what he loves, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Life is good. You're not going to slow me down.
Leave the pain behind and get moving. Book your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has not shut the door on the idea of Jordan Love playing Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. Here's what he had to say.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself. And he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
Love, the only member of the Packers not practicing as he continues to rehab a knee injury. Meanwhile, the Brewers go for a series win over the Giants tonight in San Francisco, blown out last night. Coverage begins at 8:10 on WTMJ. Brewers begin the day with a magic number of 8 to clinch the NL Central.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have an incident, 41-894 South at National Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due to an incident. I usually like to take a peek at the cameras to kind of see exactly what that is, but I'll tell you what, I just did that, and that particular camera is not working or it's turned off. Now, sometimes I do turn it off if something bad has happened, but I looked at the next one and traffic is moving along okay, so I don't expect that it's a major issue. But 41-894 South at National Avenue, right shoulder is blocked due to an incident.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
Sunny and hazy today. Some clouds will start rolling in later on. A high of 85. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 66. Clouds, filtered sunshine tomorrow, high of 78. Saturday looks much the same. Slight chance for rain on Sunday, but a high of 80 degrees. Right now it's 76 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
So I'm always amazed at how the brain works.
Yes.
So yesterday on the program, if you listened to it, and if you missed it, please check out our podcast page at WTMJ.com or through the mobile app. We spent a lot of time talking about Campbell's Soup yesterday. Campbell's Soup. Campbell's Soup Company is removing the soup from its longtime iconic name. It's going to be known as the Campbell's Company. They're investing more in snacks and
it's a big change for branding.
It's a huge change. And we learned, as a tangent to this story,
yes, we did.
That
yes,
you
all
have
did.
some 40 Campbell's Christmas ornaments at home, collected over the years, thanks to your uncle who every year at Christmas would give you a Campbell's soup ornament, which I never knew existed to begin with, much less you having 40 of them.
The more you know, Greg, the more you know.
I'm fascinated by it. Was totally fascinated. Yes, they're mildly creepy, but a very sweet story. What did you have for dinner last night?
I did. Okay, but there are a sequence of events that happened to make me have this, but I did have Campbell's soup, spicy chicken noodle last night.
Of course you did.
And I sent Greg and our producer Gina a picture, and I said, happening now. But my husband is gone. I had been taking the dog out. I was doing a bunch of things. I was busy, and I wasn't having dinner until about 8:15 at night, and I just wanted something quick. I think they call it, Gina, I don't know if you want to pipe in on this one. I think they call it girl dinner these days.
Girl dinner?
Girl dinner, when you just kind of, you just throw something together. Sometimes it's charcuterie and a glass of wine. Well, last night it was Campbell's soup. But it was kind of amusing. But yes, you're right. The brain does work like that. Like we had that young woman on to talk about the ice cream that didn't melt. And then I tell you, for the next 3 weeks, I ate more ice cream than I had in 2 months.
I was fascinated by it. My response was, did you just eat it from the can or did you heat it up? Because I think you can go either way with Campbell's chunky soup.
You can't put the can in the microwave.
Well, I know that, but you could just eat it straight out of the can if you wanted to. Cold.
I put it in a bowl, Greg.
Well, you had Campbell's chunky soup for dinner last night on a warm evening in downtown Milwaukee based upon the conversation we had on the program yesterday. And now we've got the mystery solved. It's 11:10 on WTMJ. Some big stories that we're following here this morning.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the world's first private spacewalk is now complete. Yes, SpaceX pulled it off. More than 350 miles above the Earth, a tech billionaire and an engineer did what only professional astronauts have done before. 2 others stayed inside the Dragon capsule to make sure everything went as planned. The crew of 4 launched Tuesday from Cape Canaveral, Florida, rocketing farther from Earth than anyone since NASA's moonwalkers. This is really incredible, and the video's stunning, too. Here's the team back on Earth cheering them on. Listen to this. That sound from Mission Control. Just imagine that moment. I mean, I get goosebumps listening to it myself, and I'm not involved. So all of those people who worked to make this happen, knowing that anything could happen, just hoping everything goes well, and then they see that hatch open, they see the first person go out, and only one person, the tech billionaire, he went out first. Kind of did his thing, and then when he came back, the second person went out. But just imagine that happening and it all going okay. The ultimate excitement that you have.
Do you think the other 2 that were strapped to their seats had a good time, that weren't allowed out of the space vessel?
I wonder if they had a choice. I mean, they were watching to make sure everything was going okay, so you need that. But I wonder if those 2 also had a choice.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a limit on oxygen supply because they only have 5 days to complete this entire mission. So you're right. I mean, you don't have room for anything to go wrong on this trip.
And this is really cool that it happened, but there's also something behind it. SpaceX was testing the company's brand new spacesuits on this flight. So they're less bulky. They kind of want them to be more like clothes. So you can actually see when they go out there, too. They're making some moves. It's almost like they're doing some arm exercises.
Calisthenics
like
in space.
Just to feel it and like, is this going to work? Is this going to be good? Can I move around in this spacesuit? Looks like they could.
I like salami. I don't like it with a side of listeria. More problems for Boar's Head here. 57 people have been hospitalized, at least 57. In 18 states, there have been deaths. 9 have died, according to the CDC, in connection with this listeria outbreak tracing back to Boar's Head. Well, now inspectors at a Boar's Head plant in Virginia are detailing awful conditions that could pose an imminent threat. So here's what they found through inspection. Insects, mold, blood in puddles on the floor, a rancid smell in the cooler at various points. This dating back to 2022. Yeah. So operations at the Virginia plant have paused. And the company previously said it was taking time to disinfect, enhance policies and procedures, and train employees. There is a place that I shop where Boar's Head is on display. It is behind the deli counter. And I have made a conscious effort in the last month to avoid it. Now, part of that is it mostly due to the listeria outbreak. I know it wasn't a big deal in Wisconsin, but my thought is let's get that mystery solved before I even go down the path of enjoying their cold cuts and deli meat again. And this affects me. Now I'm feeling like I'm going to go a different route.
Oh, I've definitely thought about it when going to the store. And I looked actually the last time I don't buy a lot of deli meat, but the last time that I did, I thought about it and I looked to see, and in that particular store, they didn't have any boar's head meat in that one. But I do tend to, and I think a lot of people do, think a boar's head is a little bit higher quality.
Sure.
It's not that bottom generic brand, so you certainly don't expect this. And then how frustrating to know that inspections found all of these horrible things. I mean, that happens. Yes, it happens. But the fact that there was a report that said there could be an imminent threat. Imagine those families of the 9 people who died, knowing that these things were found and that somebody said, hey, this could pose an imminent threat. And yet, here we are today and 9 people are dead. Number 3, a rock star saves a life. Have you seen this? Nashville police are thanking John Bon Jovi after he helped persuade a woman to come off the ledge of a Nashville bridge this week. Surveillance video from the bridge shows John Bon Jovi approaching a woman standing on the ledge. After a few minutes alone, the musician and another woman helped carry the woman in crisis to a safer part of the bridge, where they continue to talk with her before walking away together. I think at one point he actually kind of gives her a hug, too, just to comfort her.
It's incredible video. He's just kind of walking around. He's doing his thing. He's not really walking because he's sort of doing his video, so it's like, cut, action, cut. And then he sees something, and he just very calmly approaches this person standing on the other side of the ledge, presumably ready to jump.
I mean, it kind of seems like, how could you not help, right? But there are some people who would probably think twice about it and think, I shouldn't get involved. I don't want to get involved. Why was he on the bridge? You might be wondering. Well, he was filming a music video on the bridge when all of this happened. But thank goodness. I mean, the woman likely has her life thanks to John Bon Jovi.
Amazing story. It's 11:16 on WTMJ. What is going on with the markets? Rates, when are they going to drop? Forecasts indicate they're going to drop about 1/4 of a point here later this month. What could that mean for the housing market in Milwaukee? We check in with an expert after this.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Signing Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. If you are looking to upgrade your system at home, you know what I'm talking about, your home entertainment system, maybe a bigger screen, maybe better sound, better picture, higher resolution. Really, the only place to go is Flanners. It's Flanners Home Entertainment. Trusted source, local company. You want to watch that movie or game on a bigger, better screen with better sound and better picture? It's Flanners all the way. Expert solutions and installation teams ready to simplify or upgrade your home entertainment experience. They can help from start to finish. It's all about locally owned Flanners. Quality, service, the best brands, guaranteed best prices, all top priorities. Going to Flanners is kind of a treat, right? It's all cool stuff to look at. They've got a great store in West Dallas, also in Grafton, and, of course, at Flanners.com. It's Flanners. Home entertainment. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Can a local bank provide all the big bank services with the friendliness of a small-town neighbor? Waterstone Bank has been doing it for more than a century. This is your Waterstone Bank, and we're invested in the community, supporting education, women's and youth programs, and honoring our brave veterans and frontline heroes. We're at the heart of it all. Welcome to your Waterstone Bank.
Welcome back, Susan. How can I help you today?
Learn more at WSBOnline.com. That's WSBOnline.com. Member FDIC.
A warm day, kind of hazy sunshine. Some clouds are going to roll in later on, a high of 85. Tonight, mild and a low of 66. Tomorrow looks like a beautiful day, a high of 83 degrees. Maybe some clouds in the morning. Should be a nice day overall. Next chance of rain, and it's a slight chance, would be Sunday with temperatures in the low 80s. 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:19. Well, promising data on the economy related to the U.S. rate of inflation. According to the CPI, the rate of annual inflation sitting at about 2.5% and lower than expected. It's data that could ultimately lead to an interest rate cut. You package that with the latest report here from the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors regarding August home sales, where they are today, month to month, and really year over year. It's interesting. Might get into that point where the housing market starts to tick up a little bit more. I wanted to go through it with Mike Ruzicka, who's the president of the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors. Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Morning.
Good to have you here. I guess, are there broad takeaways from the August home report? You focus in on Milwaukee County, Waukesha County, Ozaukee, Washington, the metro area, but also Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth, really the bulk of southeastern Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Prices are going up, but the number of sales are going down. What that means is that we don't have enough inventory. We have a ton of first-time buyers out there, people in their late 20s, early 30s that are looking for a $250,000, $300,000 house. And what's happening is they're going to a showing, and the house is being bid up $50,000, $60,000 right in front of right before them, and so they get frustrated. They do that 3 or 4 more times, and it's really difficult. So prices are going up, like I said, but the number of sales are only down because people aren't listing because interest rates went up, was it a year and a half ago. So when interest rates went up, a lot of people with existing homes said, well, I'm not going to take out a 6% rate when I have a 2.5% or 3% rate right now. So they kind of held back. So they didn't list their house, which made the problem even worse. And then on top of it, since the Great Recession in 2008, we haven't been producing new homes the way we'd had prior to the recession. We're roughly 50% of what we were before then.
Home prices in our area were just sky high. I mean, for so long, but it felt like for a couple months here recently that they were starting to go down. Did it just feel like that? I mean, sometimes I peruse and I look, and don't get me wrong, they were still very high, but it seemed like it was feeling a little bit better. Was that the case? So besides inventory, why are prices up again?
Yeah, they're continuing up. In fact, in August, they were up 9% over the previous August. It all depends on the month. A lot of times in the midsummer months, we have more listings. So prices certainly didn't go down, but they might have flattened a little bit.
Gotcha.
I can't recall what June and July were, but yeah, they just flattened out. They didn't go down at all. And I don't see any prices in any category really going down in the foreseeable future, just because we have a ton of buyers and not enough homes for them to move into.
Do you find when it comes to prices, because they're not going down, that there are some homes that are sitting out there longer because they're overpriced and they're just hoping that somebody's going to pay that sky-high price?
What's interesting, sometimes a seller will kind of browbeat their realtor and say, I want to sell at this price because my neighbor sold at that price and my house is worth $50,000 more. And it just kind of sits a little bit, and then the realtor will come back and say, you see, we priced it too high. And then it sits on the market for 2 or 3 months, and then a lot of buyers that come through are thinking, "Oh, what's wrong with this place? Why has it been sitting so long?" So it can have a detrimental effect if you don't price it right at the first time around.
Well, it's definitely an interesting environment here in southeastern Wisconsin. I do wonder if rates are cut, if interest rates are cut. I feel like those who just had no choice, they had to get into a home, they got into that home saying it's going to drop, it's going to drop. You'll see a refinance tick up here, no doubt. But I'm wondering if that might even be enough to influence some people putting their house on the market who had not because of the interest rate they have. Or maybe they own their house free and clear. But I also know some people who they're looking to move on. But right now they're saying, it's just too good for me to sit here. So what's the threshold? Does a 1/4 point do it? Does a 1/2 point do it? What gets the buyers or the homeowners thinking or rethinking?
Yeah, there's really no specific number. There's no magic number. Every 1/4 point the interest rate goes down is beneficial to people getting into the market. What's interesting is when the interest rates go down, it's a little bit dangerous because that means more buyers can get in the market, which means prices could go up even higher. So sellers, if interest rates go down, they can purchase another property. problem is we don't have other properties in this market for people to purchase. There aren't enough of them. We need more, especially ownership opportunities. We need more condos and single-family houses for people in their 50s and 60s to move into, to open up the other housing that they're occupying right now at a low interest rate.
Speaking of condos, where are condos being built? Because they're certainly not being built in Milwaukee. We've got tons of apartments being built, but the condos, that hasn't been happening in the city of Milwaukee for years.
Yeah.
Is that happening anywhere else?
In the suburbs, there are some small condo developments, but even single-family developments, there's nothing that's huge. We're not seeing 300-unit developments. They're mostly 50, 60, under 100, fairly small because going back to the Great Recession again, a lot of developers were burned by that. They built too too large of projects, and they got kind of caught. So they're kind of being very conservative. And on top of that, our market is a conservative market. Nobody goes out, like in California or Arizona, you see thousands of units at one time. Nobody is doing that around here.
When it comes to new construction, I'm also thinking about homes. I don't see a lot of that, but sometimes if I go out, say, to Pewaukee, or you're headed out to maybe Brookfield, kind of the far ends of Brookfield, you do see some new neighborhoods going up. Where are the spots that we're seeing some new construction? Because we're not seeing a lot of it, but some of it's happening.
Yeah, all the suburban counties you're seeing it. And actually in Milwaukee County, Franklin and Oak Creek, there's new development. The other municipalities in Milwaukee County are all landlocked, and so they're doing infill development. Not a lot of large projects, but they'll do, if there might be a house that was old and is torn down, redevelop that, or a corner that they're putting up, hopefully a condo, but a lot of times apartment buildings. So in Milwaukee County, you see a lot of infill development. Just like 20 years ago, the condos that were built here were all infill. The old warehouses and other industrial buildings were converted into condos. And unfortunately, we're not seeing that now. And again, it's mainly because of the developers wanting to really kind of being hesitant to take a risk.
It's interesting, definitely interesting to watch, as you mentioned, that area, Lisbon, Sussex, Menominee Falls, even by parts of far west Brookfield. These houses aren't cheap either, right? I mean, they're coming in and they're being built, and they're big. They're big homes being built.
Yeah, and our attitude is build anything, because even the high-end condos, $500,000, $600,000, $1 million condos, that is opening up another house that's $500,000, which opens up another one under that. So, and right now, it's such an acute problem. We need anything will help.
Good point.
Always interesting information. Mike Mrzyka is the president of the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors. Good stuff, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
It's 11:26 on WTMJ. News is coming up.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. I want to send you to my friends at the Hounds and Tap. If you are a dog owner and you're looking for a way to get your dog to socialize, maybe you want to go hang out a little bit, you can do it at the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, the go-to place for anything, really. Doggy daycare, boarding, grooming services are there, easy in and out with the Hounds and Tap. You can also hang out. Why not watch a game, get some food from the food truck, and enjoy a beverage while you watch the game, watch your dog socialize, have some fun with other dogs and people. Really is a cool place to hang out. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. Check out their Facebook page. You will see dozens of pictures of happy dogs. That's what they do. You know your dog's in great hands when they're for daycare or boarding services. Food trucks, bingo, fundraisers. Every Sunday is a family day, so bring the family out to the Hounds and Tap. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. John Stevenson, D.C. What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
Numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in hands or feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable. We can get great results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133 today for a nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call Strive Integrative Health at 262-307-2133. Act now, 262-307-2133.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
It's 11:31. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, September 12th. Your top story, minor injuries from a camper fire.
I'm Jessica Ty, making it easier for everyone to vote.
Sunny and hazy today. Some clouds rolling in later on, a high of 85. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 66. Some filtered sun on Friday, high clouds, and a high of 78. 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:31. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, employees at a Brookfield Auto Center are recovering from minor burns after a camper fire. The Brookfield Fire Department responded to the Napa Auto Care Center on 124th and North just before 5:30 Wednesday night. Found a camper van fully engulfed in flames outside the building, but quickly got it under control. Several employees working outside on the vehicle were treated on the scene for minor burns. The building sustained minor exterior damage. The camper, a total loss. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
A lawsuit filed against the Kettle Moraine School District alleges board members encouraged a hostile environment that violated Title IX. The suit says the district failed to protect transgender and non-binary students after claims of discrimination were brought to its attention.
The lawsuit targets statements made by School Board Vice President Amy Richards during a July 16th board meeting on updates to the 1972 federal law.
Trans women are not women. As a woman, I'm offended by the idea that anyone thinks they know what it is to be a woman if they are not a woman.
The update clarified discrimination against gender identity is also banned. The group Moms for Liberty sued, and a federal judge in Kansas ordered an injunction blocking the rules from being enforced in schools where children of Moms for Liberty members are enrolled. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Well, casting a ballot isn't easy for everyone. That's why Disability Rights Wisconsin is advocating for accessibility at the polls during this Disability Voting Rights Week. Voting Rights Coordinator Anna Anderson tells Spanning the State one example is people who were previously incarcerated.
A lot of the times people think that if you've had a felony, you can never vote again, which is not true. And we want to make sure that people with disabilities understand that and understand how they can still vote and still exercise that right.
Disability Rights Wisconsin also involved in lawsuits like the one that calls for accessible absentee ballots that can be completed electronically. That case is currently stayed in court.
A Milwaukee college celebrating a milestone.
The M in my ad stands for Milwaukee, and we are a part of this community.
Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Collaboration and community specialist Leah Good tells WTMJ how they're celebrating with special events, starting with Doors Open Milwaukee.
It's going to be Milwaukee Prints. It is in conjunction with our communication design department, where we have the communication design screen by printing class that is going to be doing custom screen prints that are based on Milwaukee's theme.
Also look for special upcoming exhibits featuring art from alumni and faculty. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Franklin police are warning residents about the TikTok door knock challenge after 2 incidents in the city. The challenge involves people banging or kicking doors in the middle of the night, trying to startle the residents and then running away without getting caught. At least that's the goal. Franklin police remind people that this constitutes disorderly conduct, comes with a fine of $376. They are increasing neighborhood patrols to help residents feel more secure.
Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Sonic Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what always faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Will he or won't he? Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has not shut the door on the idea of Jordan Love playing Sunday against the Colts.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself. And he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
Love, the only member of the Packers not practicing today as he continues to rehab a knee injury. Brewers go for a series win over the Giants tonight in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 8:10 on WTMJ. Milwaukee begins the day with a magic number of 8 to clinch the NL Central Division.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 4194 south beyond the ramp from County G down towards Caledonia. The left shoulder is blocked due to a car that's possibly broken down, disabled in some capacity. I do see, as I'm looking at the cameras, an emergency responder is out there. So you've got the lights from the trooper out there, and you've got the broken down vehicle as well. Traffic is significantly heavy, and it's definitely slowing down around that spot. So hopefully we can get that cleared quickly.
Warm today, a high of 85 degrees, sunny and hazy. Clouds roll in later on. Cloudy tonight and a low of 66. Some filtered sun on Friday with high clouds and a high of 78. Next chance of rain, a very slight chance on Sunday. It is 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:38. From Category 2 hurricane to tropical storm, Hurricane Francine has weakened considerably, but still causing plenty of damage in the southern United States, Louisiana especially, with heavy rains, power outages, all sorts of mess going on in Louisiana. We welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan. Hi, Jim.
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, it's been downgraded, in fact, from tropical storm status to a tropical depression just a short time ago. Winds about 35 miles per hour, but it is still causing a lot of problems and dumping a lot of rain up in central Mississippi. It'll move up into sort of the western tip of Tennessee and Arkansas and then up into Missouri. So it's not done yet, but the landfall itself as a Category 2 storm with 100-mile-an-hour winds, they'll be dealing with that for a little while there on the Louisiana coast, Greg.
Jim, I was hearing that there were some 911 outages. I mean, when there's a serious storm, you want to be able to call 911 just in case anything happens. What went wrong there, and has that been resolved at this point?
It has, yeah. Around New Orleans, they were having issues with the 911 system during the storm. But, you know, even at the height of a hurricane, if you dial 911, chances are nobody can come to help you anyway with the weather as severe as it was at that time. So, those 911 issues were one of the logistical challenges they were facing there. Now, of course, come the power outages, Jessica. Right now, about 378,000 outages in Louisiana. That includes homes, businesses, office buildings, apartment buildings, whatever it might be, 378,000 customers. And right now in Mississippi, about 54,000. So wherever the storm goes, you're going to see these power outages follow.
It's a popular convention city as well, Jim.
Sure.
What do we know about airline travel?
They're slowly getting back to normal. I mean, they did have to cancel many flights yesterday. There's a convention there in town. I think 14,000 people were in town. The mayor was talking about that and telling people just calm down. Storm will pass through. You get back down to Bourbon Street after it's all passed. So, yeah, in a city that relies so heavily on tourism, the mayor is trying to be upfront and tell people that they deal with this. And in fact, the pump system, the levee system there in New Orleans, it's been fortified over the years since Katrina, billions of dollars spent, and it apparently has held up just fine through this one.
Some of the most dangerous times are the hours right after a storm passes.
Yes.
What's the concern there?
Exactly, and that's why the power crews were stationed there around New Orleans and the greater Louisiana area going into the storm to be sure that once the winds die down, they can get out there and start restoring power. Because you're right, Jessica, the fewer people you have with power outages, the fewer people will be using generators, and the lower the chance that people are going to suffer from carbon monoxide poisoning. That's a big concern. So, yeah, as we know, the majority of casualties, the injuries, the deaths come in the hours and days after a hurricane like Francine.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's weakened to a tropical depression, Jim. I feel like there's a misnomer with that, in that you have this idea that, it's turned into nothing. It was this big thing, and now it's just calmed down. It's got a little bit of rain that's falling. Well, no, this is still a major deal. If you're anywhere near New Orleans right now, southern Louisiana, it may have weakened in terms of the intensity of the rain, but the issues are only picking up.
Sure. Well, right, and you've got the threat of tornadoes that comes along with a hurricane, and not only the power outages but the lingering flooding. I'm not quite sure. I mean, the Saffir-Simpson scale is the one that we gauge hurricanes by, and it's based on wind speed. And wind is only a factor with a hurricane like this. You've got the rainfall intensity, you've got the speed of the storm that it's moving, the barometric pressure, and all of those things play into it. And yet they watch carefully the wind speed. So you're right. I mean, just because the wind's down to 35 miles per hour there in central Mississippi doesn't mean that the rain is over or the flooding threat is gone.
Yeah, it is. Somebody on the text line just asked if there's going to be a football game in New Orleans. It looks like the Saints are on the road at Dallas on Sunday, for those who may have been thinking about traveling down to New Orleans.
They're coming to Texas, right? The New Orleans Saints are to lose to the Dallas Cowboys.
There he is, ABC's Jim Ryan. We appreciate it, Jim. Thank you much.
Thanks,
Jim. See you guys.
Coming up next, our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston from the Medical College of Wisconsin. Stick around.
Test rest a mattress at Steinhoffel's, and they'll donate $20 to special spaces, and you get a $20 restaurant reward card. Queen Beauty Rest Black mattresses start at only $42 per month. Plus, get up to $300 in Steinhoffel's cash. Shop in store or online.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Oh, thanks, Deb. All that talk about bathtubs got me hungry. Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, found wherever you like to shop. Why not make it easy, right? School's back in session. You're carting kids all over to practice, going 2 directions, trying to do it at the same time. That's not easy. The last thing you need to worry about is dinner. Make it a Palermo's night. Everything's easy. Everyone's happy. Connie's, Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian, Surfer Boy Pizza, fast becoming a favorite in the Matzik household. It has not overtaken Screamin' Sicilian in my book yet, but all are great. It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Try them out. There is a slice for every appetite. Doing great in Wisconsin for 60 years. That's right. Palermo's making the best frozen pizza you're going to find. So if you're stopping off at the store, pick up a few. Put one in the oven tonight. Make it a pizza night with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. Does your CPA help you plan for your future or just tell you how you did? We just helped a manufacturing client triple their space by working with a bank we know. Their bank wouldn't help, so we contacted a banker we work with who said yes, with very favorable terms. We are also working with a Milwaukee area restaurant to pass ownership between generations and expand the restaurant. They will be able to add more tables and update their equipment using a combination of bank and government financing, again, on favorable terms. When their bank said no, we found one who said yes. This is what we do at the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow, not just record history. What about you? Do you want to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting to tell us your story and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait. Do it now. That's nealgroup.net.
No matter what your timeline is, you deserve a journey to paradise with Fox World Travel and Royal Caribbean. When you get the craving for sunshine, poolside fun, and ocean views for miles, there's no reason to hold back. Make the most out of your time with an all-in-one cruise vacation. Let a Fox World Travel cruise expert save you from the daunting task of choosing from ships, ports, and staterooms. And visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your next cruise vacation. That's foxworldtravel.com.
Warm and hazy today. Some clouds roll in later on. A high of 85. Filtered sunshine, they're calling it for Friday. High of 78. Partly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 78. Next chance of rain on Sunday. Very slight chance with a high of 80 degrees. 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:46.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Time for our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin and Chief Health Policy Advisor for the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. Hello, Dr. Weston.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Yeah, good to be with you as well. Hey, you'd be proud of me. I have a colonoscopy scheduled for tomorrow. Do you want to come?
Oh, I'm busy tomorrow, but for the next one, we'll plan on it.
No, well, I'll get some video then. I'll send it your way.
I'll look forward to it.
Just to let you know, Dr. Weston, he's only drinking water right now, and he's getting real hungry.
Yeah, I'm at that stage.
Hangry or hungry?
Oh, yeah, well, hungry, but you know what? That turns into hangry.
Luckily, it's
does,
only
without warning.
It's only a 2-hour show, so I think I'll make it through that part.
And don't get hangry with me.
Yeah, the real process, quote unquote process, begins later this afternoon. But yes, I am 46 years old. This seems to be a thing that more and more people in their mid 40s should look at doing. So I'm doing the thing.
Well, hopefully others will follow your example.
Hopefully, I'll have a full update in our next conversation. It's also about that time where you're walking around Walgreens or whatever sort of pharmacy that you attend, and you're seeing signs for updated vaccines for COVID, for flu shots, all that kind of stuff is out and available. What are the latest here from the CDC with the updates specifically to the COVID vaccine?
Yeah, so the biggest difference this year around for these 2024 25 vaccines are how targeted they are. So they're targeted to what's called the KP2 variant. Basically, that's the latest strain. It's what's going around right now, what's causing this spike in illness that you've probably heard people talking about. And that's a notable change from earlier versions. Sometimes they targeted two different strains, but this one's really very targeted to this newest strain. It's still available to anyone 6 months or older, depending on which brand you're going with. But the dosing is pretty simple. You just need one dose of the vaccine to stay protected. For some folks with weakened immune systems, they may want to get another dose later in the year. But the big takeaway is this updated vaccine is keeping pace with the evolving virus and making it easy for folks to stay protected with just one shot.
Who should get the updated COVID vaccine, and when is the best time to get it? Because we always hear about when you should get the flu shot. Well, what about the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yeah, I mean, long story short, everyone should get the updated vaccine if you're 6 months or older. But of course, there's folks who are higher risk. If you're higher risk of serious illness, that's people who are pregnant, 65 and older, underlying health conditions. Those people probably want to get vaccinated as soon as possible. And this helps to protect them from severe disease or hospitalization. And we continue to see far too high hospitalization rates, especially for our 65 and older population. So if you really want to target it into your friends, your neighbors, your family, 65 and older, that's who absolutely needs to get vaccinated. But for others who aren't as high risk, or certainly if you recently had COVID, you may want to wait. Some people want to wait until around October for the COVID shot. You can get it at the same time as the flu shot, and then you get better protection lasting into the winter months when we typically see a spike in illness. And as a reminder, even if you're healthy, the vaccine also prevents the risk of long COVID and spreading the virus to others.
There's been some reports and discussion, Dr. Weston, about cost and coverage of this year's vaccine. Is insurance still covering this?
Yes, it depends. So insurance should still be covering it. There should be no cost for people who are covered by private or public insurance. That includes Medicare and Medicaid. It's easy to just contact your local pharmacy or your doctor's office. You can also visit vaccines.gov and find the vaccine locations. But what has changed, unfortunately, is the federal government's program to provide free COVID vaccines to folks without insurance has ended. But the CDC did announce that there's funds allocated to state and local health departments to continue getting those free vaccines. So if you are uninsured, it's probably best to contact your health department to understand your options. So as an example, the Milwaukee Health Department has walk-in immunization clinics where routine vaccinations are available for free or at low cost for Milwaukee residents. But certainly call your health department and get a bit more information. But flu vaccine is also free for everyone 6 months and older. So you may want to grab both at the same time this season.
Well, those walk-in immunization clinics where the routine vaccinations are available, when you said possibly at a low cost if you qualify, that's huge. Because I'll tell you what, when I was reading up on the fact that COVID shots were no longer free for people who don't have insurance, I mean, any cost is a big deal if something happens and you're not insured. But some of these people, if you're paying $200, I mean, that's not like $20 for the vaccine or $50. $200 in some cases is a big deal. And then Dr. Weston, I combine that with, this is actually a story we have coming up in our Now at Noon segment here in just a little bit. But to let you know, there's some hesitancy about vaccines this fall. There's this new nationwide survey that's out that finds a third of people who got vaccines last year don't plan to this year. Does that concern you?
It absolutely concerns me. And as you mentioned, that cost factor is a major one. And so the $200 vaccine, that's intimidating to anybody to have to pay $200 for a vaccine. So calling ahead, going to your health department, talking to your physician, and figuring out how can you go about getting the vaccine for free. Because just about everybody should be able to find some way to get that vaccine. But unfortunately, it is a little more legwork than it's been in the past.
Dr. Ben Weston joining us here in Wisconsin's Midday News. September, also Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. How prevalent is suicide in the state of Wisconsin, Dr. Weston, and what might some warning signs be?
Yeah, unfortunately, suicide claims someone's life every 11 minutes in the United States. And so this month is an opportunity to really think about suicide and how to prevent it. So you asked about warning signs. It's important to be aware of both language used as well as behavior observed. So things like hearing folks talking about feeling trapped or feeling hopeless or withdrawing from friends and family, showing extreme mood swings, oftentimes increased alcohol or drug use. These are the sort of signs that you want to watch for. And if you notice these signs, the best thing you can do is have an open, kind conversation ask how they're feeling, listen without judgment, let them know they're not alone, and remind them that there's help available. So you can reach out to professional support. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, confidential, it's 24/7. You can do phone, text, online chat. So those are a few of the resources available.
Did you see this video we were talking about earlier on Wisconsin's Midday News? John Bon Jovi, the rock star, helping persuade a woman to come off a ledge of a Nashville bridge?
I did see that. It was pretty impressive, actually. It's not every day that you have Bon Jovi to help talk you down, right?
Right, I know, but I mean, it's just one of those things. Like it could be anyone, anywhere you could see something.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway there too, and obviously it's quite a front and center situation, but anybody can recognize something about someone. Doesn't have to be a family member or loved one. And in this case, and there were other people on that bridge. It was John Bon Jovi, of all people, who saw something, acted calmly, and helped diffuse the situation.
Right. I think it goes for a lot of situations in our life. You may see someone experiencing suicidal thoughts. You may see somebody in cardiac arrest. You may see someone in all these different situations, opioid overdose, and understanding just the basic steps to help folks in our community to be healthier is really important.
Sometimes you think about these people who are struggling, and if you're struggling, it can be a struggle to get help sometimes. I mean, sometimes for these people, it's a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. It can be overwhelming. So where can people go if they need help or support?
Yeah. Well, here in Milwaukee County, there's a number of resources available. Better Ways to Cope is the overall theme to mental health access in Milwaukee County, and we want it to be no wrong door. So there's a new online navigation tool. It's healthymke.com/well. There's our mental health emergency centers. They're open 24/7, or emergency center. It's open 24/7 for crisis assessment and stabilization. We have our access clinics. They provide mental health assessments, therapy referrals, specifically for uninsured patients. It's hard to find mental health coverage for these folks, and you can walk in anytime at the southeast and north side locations. And if you want a one-stop shop, you can just call 211. It's free, it's confidential, it's 24/7, and they'll help connect you with these different resources, not just for mental health, but for housing, food, and other needs as well.
Always great information. Dr. Ben Weston, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine for the Medical College of Wisconsin and Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Appreciate it, Dr. Weston. We'll check in again next week.
All right. Best of luck with the colonoscopy. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll keep you posted. It's 11:56 on WTMJ.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Carbless Ready-to-Drink Cocktails.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Effectively protecting your family's legacy since 1999. It's Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. If you're looking for a way to secure your assets, you make a call to Dan and the team at Krause Estate Planning. They've built an entire business around protecting you and what you've earned and what you've built. We've got an office now open in Brookfield. You connect with the experts at Krause Estate Planning. They will help guide you through the process. It can feel big. It can feel intimidating. But Dan and his team take that away. EstatePlanningPeople.com. Or for more information on how you can qualify for Medicaid, visit SaveMomsAssets.com. Answer all the Medicaid, Medicare questions you might have. You can do it in one spot. It's Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. EstatePlanningPeople.com.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? Wish Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WisCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Moving Grave's headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life, and that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Save up to 50% on better quality furniture and mattresses during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, September 12th. Your top story, local students displaced after a Madison house fire.
I'm Jessica Ty. Will she get to keep her job?
Sunny today, a little hazy, cloudy eventually, a high of 85. Cloudy tonight and a low of 66. Some filtered sun on Friday, whatever that means, and a high of 78. It's 77 and sunny in Milwaukee. At 12:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, 4 UW-Madison students from our area are among 6 roommates who ran from their burning house after a suspected arson fire off campus.
I woke up to my roommates yelling, get out, there's a fire.
Carly Lehman, junior nursing student from Franklin, is grateful everyone got out safely, but she's lost nearly everything.
Smoke damage to all of our things. We weren't able to take much from the house.
Carly and her roommates have struggled to find a place to stay for the rest of the school year, but despite these tough times, she is not planning to miss the Alabama football game this weekend.
I'm not sure what I'll wear yet because I don't have my clothes, but I'll be there.
Vince Vetrano, WTMJ News.
Madison police report they have a person of interest in custody connected to a dumpster fire around the same time near the home. It's believed it could be related to the house fire.
Prioritizing projects in Madison. The mayor released the 2025 executive capital budget detailing funding proposals for infrastructure and public assets in the city.
We are scrutinizing literally every line of our budget and making hard decisions about whether things can go forward or not, both because we are really mindful of the impact on household budgets, but also because we just really want to be realistic about what we can do with the number of staff that we have.
Budget proposals include constructing a public works facility on Madison's far west side and stormwater upgrades on Regent Street. The state legislature has not placed strict limits on capital budgets. The mayor will release the proposed operating budget in October.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court will hear a lawsuit to determine whether the state's top election official can keep her job. Megan Wolf is the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Senate Republicans voted to fire Wolf in September of 23. Attorney General Josh Kaul sued to challenge that vote. causing Republican leaders to claim their vote to fire Wolf was symbolic. A Dane County Circuit judge ruled in January that Wolf is legally serving as administrator of the Elections Commission since the commission deadlocked on whether to reappoint her. It's unlikely that the court will rule before the November 5th election.
The Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee is facing a lawsuit from its residents about poor living conditions over the years. HACM met with residents Wednesday for the first time in 8 months. After the meeting, the director said he has no plans to step down from his position.
I'm committed to continuing my efforts and working with HUD to address the corrective action plans. I do not anticipate resigning, and neither do I anticipate retirement. I have many working years ahead of me.
A class action lawsuit filed against HACM claims residents at College Court in the city's south side have been dealing with bedbug problems for more than 5 years.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices in the green. Happy to report that this afternoon. The Dow is finally up 110 points at 40,972.15. S&P 500 up today about 25 points at 55.78. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
Now your ideas do not have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com.
You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
If the first thing on your to-do list is to start a to-do list, if the snooze button has fallen off your alarm clock, or if your favorite day is tomorrow, you're a procrastinator. And your friends at Mr. Holland's Home Services remind you that cold weather is fast approaching. Is your furnace ready for frigid days and frosty nights? Yes, we know you're not thinking about winter when it's still on the warm side. But let's face it, planning ahead isn't one of your superpowers. So just take a quick minute to call Mr. Holland's and secure a brand new, high-efficiency heating and cooling system today. You may even qualify for payments as low as $69 a month with approved credit. You'll be set for winter, and you'll finally have time to read that book on how to stop procrastinating that you bought in 2016. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Tired of being put off by the cold? We can help.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur leaving the door open for Jordan Love to play Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself, and he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
Yeah, Love, the only member of the Packers not practicing as he continues to rehab a knee injury. The team is preparing Malik Willis to start at quarterback on Sunday at Lambeau. Week 2 of the NFL season kicks off tonight with the Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. And the Brewers go for a series win tonight over the Giants in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 8:10, trying to whittle that magic number down. It's at 8. The Brewers begin the day with a magic number of 8 to clinch the division.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have a crash in Jefferson County, so if you're headed that way, heads up. I-94 west at the ramp from Wisconsin 89. The right lane is blocked due to a crash.
Sunny and warm today. Some clouds will roll in eventually. It's going to feel a little hazy as well. You'll notice that if you're outside a little later on, especially. High of 85, overnight low of 66. Tomorrow looks much the same with a high of 83 degrees, some filtered sunshine, partly cloudy on Saturday, and a high of 78. Right now it's 77 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Okay, so I'm starting to get hungry now. I've entered this phase where, now I'm starting to feel a little bit hungry.
Are you starting to really wonder, too, how the next few hours are going to go? I feel like when it's the first time for colonoscopy, you've heard all the stories from everybody else. So everybody, if you're just tuning in now, Greg's first colonoscopy coming up tomorrow. He's fasting. He's drinking the water right now, not eating the food. Are you wondering? Is it in the back of your mind? How's this going to all work tonight?
Well, we are going to live stream that entire event tomorrow on the show here. Gina will get it up on the live stream. You can text the word watch and just see how it goes, right? Why not? Just see what it's like if you've not been through it yourself. Now, it's a pretty long list of things you have to do, and I think more importantly, things you shouldn't do the week before and then a day before. But today is like the day it really starts. So they say don't eat anything. It's a clear liquid diet. So I can go so far as like broth and Jell-O. As long as it's not red Jell-O, there are some, restrictions, I suppose. But I'm just making it kind of a water day. I feel fine right now, but normally I will have, at this point, had a breakfast and maybe a coffee or something like that, looking ahead to lunch. That's just not the case today.
No Walgreens trip for snacks for you today, Greg.
No snacks at all. There's Kringle upstairs. There's all sorts of stuff. Of course, today would be the day where there's food strewn about in our kitchen. But nonetheless, you will hold down the fort tomorrow. I will likely be in a fog at this time tomorrow. And who knows? Maybe I'll just call in. It might be very entertaining at that point.
We'll be calling you.
It's 12:09 on WTMJ. Some big stories that we're following here this afternoon.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Another potential problem for Boeing. Tens of thousands of workers who build commercial airplanes could strike starting tomorrow.
33,000 Boeing workers could walk off the job on Friday. There will be one ballot on Thursday to accept or reject a new contract offer and another to say yes or no to authorizing a strike. Boeing and the union came to a new tentative agreement this week impacting workers on airplane assembly lines. The Boeing workers have made it clear they don't like it. They want their pensions restored, and the proposed contract removes incentive bonuses and does not offer the pay raises they want. Alex Stone, ABC News.
A strike would shut down production of the company's best-selling planes. Here's what it would not do, though, because if you're hearing this and you're worried about it, I want to let you know a walkout would not cause flight cancellations or directly impact airline passengers. Still, this is a big deal, though. Boeing's reputation has been battered since the deadly 2018 and 2019 737 MAX airliner crashes that left those planes grounded for months. Couple that with the current safety concerns after a panel blew out on a MAX mid-flight in January, and it has just been brutal for Boeing.
Yeah, can't get away from it, right? I mean, going on years of this. It's more bad news.
Yeah, and the union workers, they want a 40% pay increase over 3 years. And sometimes I think people can hear that and say, whoo, a 40% pay increase. That sounds massive, right? But you got to look back and look at the contracts before and see, when was the last time they had a contract? And what does the market say? So sometimes it sounds so big, and maybe it's not when you really look at the grand scheme of everything.
Cleanup underway in New Orleans in the wake of Hurricane Francine. It's now a tropical storm, and I should say depression. Over 300,000 customers remain without power, however. I just looked at the updated grid. This is in the greater New Orleans area. Dangerous winds, trees were falling all over the place, landing on power lines.
Not good.
Right? I mean, just awful. Heavy rains, flooding, also a major issue. So while it's no longer a Category 2 hurricane, it's still leaving its mark. New Orleans Airport technically open, but over 130 flights were canceled yesterday, another 80 today. That's 80 and counting. And listen to this cut. The storm flooded a young couple's home in downtown New Orleans. They first noticed the flooding when they went downstairs to check on a pie they were baking.
Had to check on the pie, and as we went down to get the pie, saw water starting to seep in everywhere, and it was seeping in a lot of different places just because the water was coming up, and mostly we saw the water coming up from our toilet and our bathtub.
Yeah, just baking a pie, right? It was kind of a national emergency. The city is going to be flooded, right? Get out of Dodge, evacuation orders, crazy winds, Category 2 hurricane. Let's get a huckleberry pie in the oven.
I feel like they were baking an apple pie because it's apple pies, it's warm, it's soothing, it's calming.
They had all the ingredients?
I'm going with the apple pie.
You know what it's like. If you're going to make a pie, you get the ingredients. Nobody has all of the ingredients just to make a pie ready.
I've never made a pie in my life.
Like you get it a day in advance at most. You don't get stuff like 4 days in advance. Say, later this week I'm going to make a pie.
Yeah, I take that back. Maybe I made a banana chocolate pie once.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
I'm baking a pie.
Here's another big one today. Hesitancy about vaccines this fall. Flu season is just around the corner and COVID-19 cases are on the rise right now. But a new nationwide survey finds a third of people who got vaccines last year do not plan to this year. The same percent, however, said they don't need any of the vaccines surveyed in the poll, including flu, COVID, and RSV, so take that into account as well. This year's flu shot is rolling out right now. Some providers here in Wisconsin already have them. In fact, I was calling the Walgreens just to see, do you actually have it there? Yes, some of them do, so you can get that flu shot already now at some locations. And the FDA just approved an updated round of COVID-19 vaccines. We talked with Dr. Ben Weston, the Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine at MCW, about that during our last hour in Wisconsin's Midday News.
Coming up next, we'll check in with Joel Brennan. He is the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. Joins us every Thursday at about 12:15. We'll check in with Joel after this.
An election year brings a lot of different stressors. Don't let your finances be one of them. Join WTMJ's John McCure, along with Annex Wealth Management, in another free webinar. Expert panel will break down complex campaign promises and turn them into practical insights for your investments. Register for this free webinar by texting WEB to 855-616-1620. It's another webinar from Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ.
Since 1955, Geist Garage Doors has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. You know the name. They've been around for decades. It's Geist. Do not let a busted garage door get you down. You make a call to Geist, they get you back in the game. Visiting their showroom in Brookfield, just off Barker Road, I was shocked. I could not believe how many doors and openers they had in stock. Brands like CHI, LiftMaster, and more, all there, all ready for you. If you have a more custom project, we'll call it, they can help you with that as well. In fact, I watched them. I watched some people sand down a wood door, getting it ready for stain. It was beautiful. Meticulous craftsmanship. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, visit geistdoors.com. You can also stop by their showroom. They'll come out and see you if that's easier. It's Geist, really, the trusted experts in the space. Don't think twice. Call Geist. Visit geistdoors.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Warm and hazy today. Clouds rolling in later on, a high of 85. Tonight, mild temperatures, a low of just 66 degrees, and it will be cloudy. Tomorrow, we get up into the upper 70s, maybe low 80s under partly cloudy skies. Next chance for rain Sunday, very slight chance. It's going to be primarily dry here throughout the weekend. It is 78 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:17. Joel Brennan is the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. Normally, he joins us in studio. He is on assignment. We have sent him out for some research, I think. Joel, where are you right now? Where are you exactly?
I'm in Detroit. I'm right across Lake Michigan from you. I can almost see you from here.
Okay.
You're waving.
Before we get into that, have you ever made a pie?
Maybe.
Okay.
Is this a trick question?
Joel's not sure if he's ever made a pie.
Then you haven't made a pie, Joel.
Okay, question 2. Have you ever had a colonoscopy?
That'd be a yes.
Okay, great. I have mine tomorrow. So there you go. There's a snapshot of what we've been discussing in the last hour of the program.
Any advice for him, Joel?
The lead up is much worse than the actual event. So the next 24 hours are your worst, Greg. Then everything's hunky dory from there.
Okay, good enough. I'm starting to get a little hungry, as it were. All right, it is lunchtime. Joel is in Detroit. Why are you in Detroit, Joel? What has taken you away from our beautiful state?
So I've spent the last couple of days here with other people from cities around the country. There's an organization called the Kresge Foundation based here in Detroit. And just a little background on Kresge. The guy Kresge was someone who was grew up on a farm, and this was around the turn of the century, and this was the 20th century. Like many people, he moved off the farm, moved to the city, started 5 and dime stores, which ultimately became Kmart's, which we knew. And in about 1924, 100 years ago, he set out to change things in cities. He put away $1.5 million in 1924, and now 100 years later, those dollars are still going to communities like Milwaukee, Detroit, elsewhere, and trying to fix some of the urban challenges and make progress on urban challenges we have around housing, education, and increasingly climate, things like that. So it's been great to gather with people from around the country, learn lessons from there, share lessons about what we're doing in Milwaukee.
What have you learned so far? What are you taking home? Bring it back to Milwaukee.
You know, I'm taking home, it's really interesting to be in the city of Detroit because 12 years ago, the city of Detroit actually had to declare bankruptcy, and they became a ward of the state of Michigan. And if you recall, about a year ago, we were having similar conversations in Milwaukee because had we not been able to get a local sales tax and additional assistance from the state, we were in a position where we were not going to be able to do the basics in delivering services. That's where they were in Detroit a dozen years ago. And really, they have made a pretty miraculous comeback. And really the lesson there is that the private sector, the public sector, the philanthropic sector all have worked together on the challenges in Detroit. Now, we didn't get as bad as they have gotten in Detroit, but things have been challenged fiscally in Milwaukee for a long time. We've got what we think are intractable problems. And so, you know, this happens in other places where you put the pieces together and you can make real progress. And I think we're on the verge of doing that in Milwaukee. So in some ways it was validating, but also just great to see some of the neighborhood work that they're doing, some of the stakeholders who are engaged here. We did a walking tour of a local neighborhood here, which is an example and kind of proof positive that this stuff can work.
It's really interesting. I know it's collaborative, Joel, but are you finding that other city leaders look to you and their understanding of Milwaukee as a place that's doing things the right way? What has stood out to you in that regard?
Well, you know, there are aspects. We all have things that we're doing well that we can share. So I'll give you an example. Our colleagues in St. Louis right now are trying to work on challenges related to homelessness there. And about 10 years ago, when Chris Abele was county executive in Milwaukee, he and a bunch of other people collaborated on a housing first effort with the United Way and other stakeholders. And, you know, while we haven't solved homelessness as a problem, and there are still some challenges, over the past couple of years, Milwaukee and several other counties around us have met what are the federal criteria for ending chronic homelessness. There's like 50 or 60 things you need to hit. And so, you know, being able to both let them know some of what we did in Milwaukee, but more importantly, like make connections with people who are on the ground doing it here so that they can take a solution and tailor it to what they need in St. Louis, that's valuable. You know, whereas I can learn lessons and we in Milwaukee can learn lessons around education initiatives that have gone on in other places. I talked to people from New Orleans here who have been, after Hurricane Katrina, they had to kind of rebuild their whole school system and use some innovative tools. And so, you know, I'm hoping at a time where our school district and the challenges that we have in the city of Milwaukee with education and K-12 are very clear. Like, I can bring some of those lessons home to people who are working on those issues, people of goodwill who want outcomes to be better for our kids in the city.
Joel, I'm curious, when you travel to places like Detroit or any other city across the country for meetings like this to talk to other leaders, what do they ask you generally about Milwaukee? If they're just like, oh, I've never been, what are their questions?
You know what? What's interesting now between related to when I would have done this a couple of years ago, more people have been to Milwaukee. More people know about what's going on there. I think part of what I hear from them, if people are sports fans, they know what has happened with the Bucks and the Brewers. But increasingly, they know that there's something happening in the community. They know around things related to the RNC, and that we've just been on a little bit of an upswing. And amongst people, whether they're in the Midwest or on the coast, I think the knowledge of Milwaukee has increased a little bit. Now, the awareness of who we are and what we do, we still live in the shadow of Chicago a little bit, but I think people are starting to recognize that there is innovation that happens in Milwaukee and that we're trying to do things differently. To be honest, one of the things that people, in urban areas talk about Milwaukee is kind of the fact that we've been a laboratory for education over the last 30 years with, both the private choice programs, the public charters, and then the public schools. So they kind of know us as a laboratory for that and want to know, in some ways how things are going there.
Really interesting insight, Joel. Anytime you take a field trip, we're happy to check in with you. It's really interesting stuff. Travel safe. Appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, guys. Great to be with you.
Yes,
See you next week.
12:24 on WTMJ. Joel making his way back from Michigan. More after this.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. It's Gruber Law Offices. Greg Madzik here, it's Gruber. David Gruber and his team have built this thing from the ground up and now celebrating nearly 40 years of doing it the right way. One of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. You focus on healing. Let them focus on the illegal aspect and providing the best care, service, and representation. That's all among their priorities at Gruber. Visit gruber-law.com. And if you've been seriously hurt in an accident, you just make a simple phone call. It's 414-276-6666 for locally known but nationally recognized Gruber Law Offices.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Have you ever won the lottery?
Hello? No.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about like $5?
Well, imagine winning the $1 billion purse and then not coming forward to claim it. It's exactly what's going on right now in New Jersey.
The first big Mega Millions jackpot this year was won back in March in New Jersey. One ticket only, didn't have to share the winnings with anyone. $1.1 billion. So where's the winner? Nobody knows. They've yet to claim the prize. In New Jersey, you can remain anonymous, but you at least have to come forward with the ticket and identification to claim the money. If no one does that in the next 6 months, the $1 billion goes back to the state lottery fund. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It always blows my mind sometimes when these tickets are just like people don't even look at their tickets. I'm like, the few times I have played, not only have I looked at them that night, but then I kind of save them and look back 2 days later, go to the computer, pull up the numbers just to make sure.
Check, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Before you rip it up and throw it in the garbage.
So I'm wondering if somewhere in New Jersey there is a family, a guy, a lady, who knows, right? Just smashing their head against the steering wheel because they think maybe they've got the ticket. Nobody's come forward. I had it. I lost it. Didn't think I'd win. And maybe not even knowing if they had the winning ticket, but thinking for an ounce or an instant that they could have it, but unable to do anything about it.
What if you had the winning ticket and you put it in your pocket and then you put your stuff in the laundry and then you wash your laundry without checking the pockets and that ticket went in the laundry and got all messed up and you can't see the numbers anymore?
That's
and it was
not
the
good.
winning one.
That's
Can you
not
imagine?
Good. No, I can't. I would be very distraught, as you might imagine. So if it was $100, I'd be mad at myself.
Yeah,
never
me
mind
too.
$1.1 billion, for goodness sake.
Billion with a B.
If you're out there in New Jersey, we wish you well. 1228 on WTMJ.
This is Senior Real Estate Specialist Bruce Nemovitz of Bruce's team. We're honored to help seniors and their families traverse the journey of selling their longtime homes and moving to the lifestyle they deserve. With over 35 years of experience, Bruce's team is here to help take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Get started today and call 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Our pain relief treatments are FDA approved. That's why your insurance will likely cover them. So-called bioregenerative options are considered experimental, and your insurance will not cover those. Our process is simple. Stem cells, plasma, and bone marrow therapies are not at all simple, and they're nowhere near as affordable as we made our treatments. At Rejuvenex, the cost of your pain relief treatment can be as low as $65 per injection per joint. Our proprietary, powerful, anti-inflammatory and lubricating treatments allow for better joint function that can alleviate your pain. And after we start, your next treatment could be as long as 18 to 24 months away. For some, it's sooner, but when it's working, it's worth it. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, September 12th. Your top story, serious damages from a structure fire.
I'm Jessica Ty. A county executive makes a big announcement.
Sunny today, hazy, clouds rolling in later on, and a high of 85 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 66. Expect more clouds on Friday. Some filtered sunshine throughout the course of the day, and a high of 78 degrees. Next, a chance of rain, maybe slight chance on Sunday. It's 78 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following this week's debate, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning in swing states today, and another Republican is endorsing Harris.
He served as White House counsel for all of George W. Bush's first term and as Attorney General in Bush's second. And now Alberto Gonzales joins the list of Republican former officials who say they simply cannot vote for Donald Trump. In a Politico op-ed, Gonzales calls Trump perhaps the most serious threat to the rule of law in a generation. Gonzales says it's his view that if Trump again holds the power of the presidency, he would, quote, abuse it for personal and political gain and not on behalf of the American people.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Attorney General Merrick Garland, in a speech to staffers today at the Justice Department, urged them to continue their independent work and rejected claims that the DOJ is politicizing and weaponizing cases. Wildfires exploding in Southern California, with fire crews battling 3 major fires in L.A. and San Bernardino counties. This is ABC News.
Static and limited WTMJ news time is 12:31. $2 million worth of damage from a fire. A large metal building in the town of Fulton considered a total loss after a vehicle inside the building became fully engulfed in flames. Rock County Sheriff's Office says it happened about 6:15 Wednesday morning. Nobody was injured. Investigation indicates the fire may have ignited directly from the vehicle parked inside.
July saw mixed ridership on board Milwaukee's streetcar, The Hop. The latest data from the Department of Public Works indicates ridership during the Republican National Convention was down nearly 30% compared to the same period in 2023. Ridership did see a boost during Summerfest, up 30% from last year's fest. Overall, there were about 63,500 rides on the streetcar in July, slightly down from 2023. DPW says ridership on The Hop is at 61% of pre-pandemic levels.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow announces he's been diagnosed with a rare type of cancer.
I'm going to be facing a journey like many people have. Unfortunately, mine will be a little more public because of the position. I'm still going to be at the desk. I'm still going to be working as hard as I can. My appearance may be changing a little bit, but the attitude won't.
Farrow received the diagnosis a few weeks ago after undergoing multiple medical examinations. He's already started chemotherapy, but plans on staying in office while receiving treatment.
Decision, Wisconsin. The Democratic vice presidential nominee is heading to Wisconsin again. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will campaign in Wausau tomorrow as part of a post-debate swing state tour. He's scheduled to arrive at Central Wisconsin Airport in Mosinee at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This visit comes after his wife, Gwen Walz, attended a debate watch party in La Crosse on Tuesday night. The governor last visited the state over Labor Day weekend for a rally at Milwaukee's Labor Fest.
Marking 50 years with a reunion of art. MIAD is celebrating its 50th anniversary with special exhibits. Director of Galleries and Community Engagement, Monica Miller, tells What's on Tap. They'll also serve as a reunion for alumni and faculty who
attended the college in the 70s up until recent. We'll have that work on view, and we'll also actually have an exhibition from emeriti faculty. So folks who taught at the college for many, many years who are either still living or we have works from them right now in our collection.
Another MIAD milestone this year was the college's first year of its off-site gallery, MIAD at the Avenue.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
If September had a flavor, it would be bittersweet. You still get the remnants of summer, that's sweet, but it's mixed with a bitter bite of back to school. Don't you wish you could keep some things running longer and stop other stuff from happening too soon? Here at Mr. Holland's Home Services, we feel the same way about your aging furnace. The fall chill is coming, and with the world's greatest tune-up and furnace rejuvenation, Mr. Holland's crew can stretch your senior system so that it's running smoothly well into its golden years. Of course, just like summer, all good things eventually must come to an end. So if your elderly, inefficient furnace is facing its final days, we can keep its memory alive with the installation of a brand new, high-efficiency comfort system. Mr. Holland's Home Services has you covered. But sorry, kids, you still gotta go to school.
Aw, man.
866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Ready to take your comfort from bitter to sweet? We can help.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers practicing today. Second straight day practicing without Jordan Love. In fact, he's the only player not practicing today. Yet, head coach Matt LaFleur is leaving the door open for him to play Sunday against the Colts.
I'd say it's pretty open. He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. But at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself. And he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
And there will be football tonight. Week 2 of the regular season begins with the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. And the Brewers go for a series win over the Giants tonight in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 8:10 on WTMJ. Magic number to clinch the division is down to 8. Had a note on the text line asking me to explain the magic number. What's the magic number all about? Well, make it simple for you. Brewers are leading the division. The Cubs are in second place. Any combination of Brewers wins and Cubs losses totaling 8 locks up the NL Central for the Milwaukee Brewers.
When I think about magic, or when I think about the number 8 in magic, I think about the magic 8 ball. Remember that as a kid?
All signs point to yes.
You shake it up. Yes, all the glitter. That was so fun. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Not much going on, to be honest. It's looking pretty good. We've got no big crashes out in the system. We have a couple disabled vehicles, but honestly, those aren't causing issues either. And they're up near Fond du Lac County. Traffic is moving along okay.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the road. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Well, no significant rain in the forecast here through the weekend and into Monday. Only a slight chance on Sunday and Monday of a shower. Otherwise, warm temperatures, primarily dry, including today. Sunny, hazy, some clouds roll in later on. High of 85 degrees, cloudy tonight and a low of 66. Some filtered sunshine on Friday, otherwise partly cloudy and a high of 78. It is 78 and sunny, beautiful day in Milwaukee at 12:38.
Beer problem is brewing.
Uh-oh.
This is intense. This is between Oak Brewing in West Allis and Minocqua Brewing Company. So I just happened to see this yesterday. I was perusing social media, and it's on Facebook. And I'll tell you what, there is a big beef going on, and they each have these large statements on social media on Facebook. Oak Brewing embroiled in a legal battle over the name of their beer and brewery. Ope. I mean, it was such a clever name, right? When they opened the brewery in West Allis, I remember thinking, how smart is that? This is going to be a popular place. Well, they're kind of mad right now because Minocqua Brewing started this new beer. They posted about it. It's called Ope, a lager with Big Dad energy. Do you know what this is about?
Okay. So it's a trademark issue, essentially, right?
Well, so this new beer, it honors Tim Walz. They thought, Minocqua Brewing thought this would be a fun thing. You know, it's got a picture of Tim Walz on it. It says Minocqua Brewing Company. But Ope is in big letters up at the top, above Tim Walz's picture. And then below it says a lager with some Big Dad energy. And, you know, a lot of people said he's kind of like the dad. He's like the coach. So Minocqua Brewing Company thinks this would be great to get out there right now during the election season. I mean, those are things that people want to buy, right? But Oak Brewing here in West Allis is like, whoa, 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 whoa. We've got a trademark here. And so they say, Oak Brewing says they own the trademark in the state of Wisconsin for Ope as related to beverages and beer, liquor, and wine, including hard seltzers and food service. They also have a pending federal trademark for Ope, which I didn't know, which I find fascinating. But just over a month ago, very soon after Tim Walz was announced as the VP-elect, Minocqua Brewing announced that they would relabel their lager as Ope. I guess there were some phone calls that happened, and Oak Brewing was just kind of like, hey, knock, 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 want to let you know that we have that trademark. So it sounded like it was all friendly to begin with. But at the end, Minocqua Brewing is still going forward with this, but they've kind of changed things a little bit because they're in legal limbo right now because Oak Brewing is now suing because of this. So obviously they couldn't come to an agreement. And now you have a lawsuit on your hands.
With two small businesses, right? I mean, it's like the last thing you need to be doing if you're a small business, especially ones that are kind of in the same family, for lack of a better term. I have friends who own breweries around this area, and they share secrets. They help each other. They share ingredients, right? The equipment gets sold from one place to the next because it's so expensive to buy new. If a place is upscaling, moving to a different spot, they contact another brewery from down the road. Hey, do you want to move into our spot? Like, it's such a fraternity of people, men and women, that run these breweries. Everybody plays nicely in the sandbox for the most part until this. And you have to protect your trademark. I totally understand that, right? If you don't do it for that long, what's the point in having it?
Right. And I like that because Ope made a good point about this. It says, if Ope started brewing a beer named Pabst, we are sure there would be a lot of questions and confusion and possibly even a lawsuit by the makers of Pabst against us. Under the law, companies must also enforce their trademarks or else they risk losing their trademark. So there's something on the line here. A highly distinctive name could become generic if the owner does not enforce it properly. But you're right, and I feel like you hear that a lot here in southeastern Wisconsin. A lot of the craft breweries will tell you, you know what, we all kind of play together well on the playground, in the sandbox. And they try to help each other out.
I don't know if the Walz beer that is being brewed by Minocqua Brewing Company is more of a limited release kind of thing, but that really shouldn't matter in this case, even if it's just, through the election cycle or something like that. And breweries have all sorts of fun coming up with names for their products, right? I mean, that would be half the fun of being a brewmaster. Somebody's got to come up with the names for something, and they're creative and they're interesting, and sometimes those beers are in and they're out and really never to be heard from again. Sometimes there's staying power, and that's great too. You start to run out of names and ideas. You try and get creative. Well, they did with Minocqua Brewing Company. It's a great label. It looks interesting. They just maybe stepped in a spot they shouldn't have.
Yeah, so they say while we're in legal limbo with our old label, we decided to create a temporary new one to avoid any problems. So introducing Big Dad Energy, a vice presidential lager. Oh.
Sounds delicious. 1243 on WTMJ. Hey, a cool story that John Mercure is behind. It's our latest WTMJ Cares initiative. You can help. It's an amazing story of courage from a hero from the state of Wisconsin. We'll share it after this.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlawns.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlawns.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. I wanted to tell you I just went to their 3rd location, now open in Wauwatosa. It is gorgeous, state-of-the-art. Head to elmbrookfamilydental.com. The new patient process is so easy. I love their 2 convenient locations in Brookfield, and their new Wauwatosa location is just a block north of Blue Mound at 800 Mayfair Road. Head to elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's ELMBROOK familydental.com.
Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. Have them do for you what they've done for me. Greg Matzik here, Siding Unlimited, the best installation teams, the best products, all there to help beautify your home's exterior. So what is it? Take a walk around the house. Maybe you noticed from inside. Windows, doors, roofing, siding, everything intact? Got some questions, things starting to fall apart? You make a call to Siding Unlimited. Take some pictures. Maybe drive out to Siding Unlimited's showroom in Brookfield or have them come to your place. SidingUnlimited.com. Their offices are located in Brookfield at 665 Larry Court. I have worked with them for, going on a decade now. They have done a number of projects for us over the years. They consistently knock it out of the park. They are there for the after-sales support. It's Siding Unlimited, owned by Eric and Aaron Brown. They took the company over from their father, who started a company back in the day. Well, now they've expanded the reach. It's Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's 69th anniversary, and we're celebrating with exciting rewards offers for our best customers. Shop anniversary celebration savings on 2-pound bags of Blaine's brand trail mix, $5 for rewards members. 5-gallon buckets of Blaine's diesel oil or tractor fluid, $49.99 for rewards members. Rewards members get 40-pound bags of Blaine's wild bird food, $15, and get 33% reward savings on all men's work and sport boots and socks. Come celebrate and save during our anniversary sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. It's your knee that's bugging you, right? Or is it your back? For some of us, it's the hips. Achy joints with pain you can't get over. Well, there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get lasting pain relief using your own body's healing properties. It's all thanks to QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can help enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing all the fun things you like to do without pain. No surgery, no painkillers, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using cellular therapies. If you want to learn more, the consultations are free. You can set up an appointment at QC Kinetics. They have clinics in Mequon and in Greenfield. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now and get lasting joint pain relief with the help from QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474. 3474.
Warm and hazy today with clouds rolling in later on, a high of 85 degrees. Tomorrow, high of about 78. They're calling it filtered sunshine. You just say partly sunny?
You're very, I noticed you were really punching that word today. You're real interested in the filtered sunshine.
That's the forecast from our friends at TMJ4 News. Why not just say partly sunny or partly cloudy? Filtered sunshine.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's just like a layer of clouds? And
I feel like it's a little different. Like the clouds are real wispy and some sun's just kind of coming through.
Okay.
But I'm no meteorologist.
We shall see. I'm very excited to be half drugged up after a colonoscopy trying to figure out if the sunshine is being filtered or not.
No milk for you.
No, certainly not today. But yes, filtered sunshine tomorrow, high of 78. It's currently 78 and sunny in Milwaukee. Lance Syjan graduated from Bayview High School and then the Air Force Academy. And a commemoration of his plane, the plane he flew, replica plane, is perched outside of General Mitchell Airport. So when you pull into Mitchell, you see this beautiful plane, this beautiful old plane. What is that? No, and it's been there for, several years now, probably going back to 2017. Well, it's at the point where it needs some rehab. And not that it's falling apart, but it needs some life breathed into it. So John Mercure is leading our latest WTMJ Cares effort to try and restore this wonderful warplane from a Wisconsin war hero, Lance Syjan, who on a cold, dark day in the middle of the Vietnam War, his 52nd combat mission became his last. His sister told John Mercure about Syjan's struggle for survival.
November 9th, 1967, Bayview's Lance Syjan's mission goes terribly wrong. His F-4 crashes in the jungle, smashing into the canopy and then the floor of that jungle. He's knocked unconscious, severely injured. A compound fracture, a fractured skull, a mangled wrist, unable to move virtually at all.
For 46 days, Lance crawled through the jungle on his backside. No food, no water, no medical attention.
The elements and the animals attacked him relentlessly.
When he would awake, he would be covered by leeches, which were then attracting the rats, which began to devour his body.
After 46 days, he passed out on a road after emerging from the jungle and was finally captured.
6'2", 220-pound Lance was so emaciated that he was 60 pounds, and 80% of his body was open flesh.
He was taken to a bamboo prison in the middle of the jungle. They left him there unguarded because they thought he was so severely wounded that he was no threat to leave. He had other plans.
And in that condition, Lance motioned with a hand motion for the guard to come down closer to Lance's mouth so that he could whisper something. When the guard came down, Lance knocked him out with a karate chop, and he pulled himself backward back into the jungle. It took a village a half a day to find Lance.
Recaptured, he refused to answer their questions, refused to give in on the code of conduct.
Lance kept saying, "I can't tell you anything. It's against the code. I can't tell you anything."
Lance was beaten mercilessly, beatings that would continue the rest of his short life.
Lance Syjan was eventually beaten to death by his captors. He was awarded the Medal of Honor. Part of his legacy is that replica of his fighter jet, which is at the airport on your way into Mitchell. It needs to be painted, needs to be repaired. So if you'd like to contribute to this project to help restore our hero's plane and legacy, if you text the word Lance to 855-616-1620, we'll send you all the information to your mobile device. 855-616-1620. Text the word Lance to our talk and text line. You can't miss it driving into Mitchell. It is such a great location for that plane. It needs to be restored. It needs to be painted. It needs to be brought back to what it was supposed to be, or what it was when it started and was first on display.
And not everybody knows that story. So now you shine a light on that story. I mean, I can't even fathom 46 days crawling through the jungle, no food, no water, being attacked by animals, then being beaten later. I mean, just heartbreaking.
And still having the will to fight and you know what I mean, and escape and get out of there. It's a remarkable story. There's also a park in Bayview, Syjan Field. I played softball there for years. I think they still have some games there. But so his memory is dotted across Milwaukee, and certainly a moving tribute with a replica of his warplane outside of Mitchell. So text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. It's an ongoing effort. So we'll have more on this story throughout the next couple of weeks. John is going to join us next week to talk about his passion behind this project. And hopefully, if you're able to help, you can. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. It's 12:52 on WTMJ.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news! Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
WTMJ's Greg Mansick here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, the destination for Wisconsin's best 2024 closeout sale. It's where to score deep closeout savings on favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Get more for your trade and discover car buying that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Fans like me. Fun, simple, and pressure-free car shopping is the way it works at Holiday. Their transparent, simplified pricing and buying approach lets you relax and focus on finding the one that's right for you, then pairing it up with enticing, money-saving incentives and offers to lower your bottom line. I've driven with Holiday a long time. The team culture, passion for excellence, and friendly, upbeat atmosphere is real. It wins fans and has earned them top-ranked status as Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone sales records. Find yours, discover the difference, and drive it home today from Holiday, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Fond du Lac and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Attention Milwaukee business owners. Graphic House Inc. has been proudly serving Milwaukee and the surrounding areas with top-notch signage solutions for over 50 years. We're here to stay and support your branding needs. From your sign design and fabrication to installation and maintenance, we do it all. Visit our website, graphichouseinc.com, for a free consultation. Graphic House Inc., Milwaukee's trusted partner in signage excellence.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Wrapping up Wisconsin's midday news in a way that I did not anticipate we would wrap up Wisconsin's midday news, but here we are.
One more time, we're going to talk about Greg's colonoscopy tomorrow. And you know what? It's a good thing to raise awareness of it, Greg.
It is. So we got a note on the text line. I've not been able to eat anything all day. I'm drinking clear liquid, and the real process starts about 3 o'clock this afternoon. There will be no video cameras involved. But a note came in on the text line about some sort of song. So
there's a song.
We Googled the colorectal surgeon, a lighthearted ballad.
I love this. Thank you to Gary from the 262, who basically says, Greg, you get to Google the song, lighthearted ballad, that he's actually played on his phone to the nursing staff while being prepped for the procedure. Enjoy. ...
We praise the colorectal surgeon, misunderstood and much maligned, slaving away in the heart of darkness, working where the sun don't shine.
Working where the sun don't shine.
Respect the colorectal surgeon, it's a calling few would crave. Lift up your hands and join us, let's all do the finger wave. When it comes to spreading joy, there are many techniques. Some spread joy to the world and others just spread cheeks. Some may think the cardiologist is their best friend, but the colorectal surgeon knows he'll get you in the end.
It's kind of catchy.
Why be a colorectal surgeon? It's one of those mysterious things. Is it because in that profession there are always openings?
All right, falling a little short on time here to play the entire thing, but I think you get the gist of it.
It's actually catchy.
It is something.
Best wishes to you, Greg.
Hey, thanks very much. News is next.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Freighter